wanted to quickly interrupt and say, please subscribe immediately. I'm a very small channel. I'm trying to get off the ground, and even like 1 or 2 subscribers gained per video really helps me boost in my motivation and getting things out. So thank you very much. Hi guys, and welcome to my flop era. I've been hearing like a lot of people who, and influencers especially, who will be like joking like, guys, like, this is my flop era whenever their views drive down. And I never really used to get it because my views have always been low, but I've had a spike recently, and so every time I post a piece of content that gets even like under that by a little bit, I'm like, guys, I'm in a flop era. And it was a joke at first, and then I started feeling anxiety about it. I was like, oh, actually, like, people hate me, people hate everything. And that started to like seep into like my personal life as well, because I recently, I don't know how I noticed it, and maybe it's because I'm constantly on Instagram, but on my personal Instagram page I started noticing that like I lost, like, I don't have a lot of followers. I have like 150 something, and like I noticed that like 4 or 5 people unfollowed me recently, and I looked at my follower list and honestly couldn't remember for the life of me who they were. So I guess it wasn't really that much of a loss. Like, I didn't notice them missing, but at the same time I'm like, what causes 5 people to unfollow a private Instagram page? So I like started joking to myself. I'm like, well, I'm in my personal flop era now. And then I actually got anxious. I was like, damn, wait, what did I do? What did I say? And I realized I really need to become a lot more careful with what I say. I don't think that I've said anything bad. I'm just going to put that out the gate. I don't think I've said anything bad. I just think I offend people on like a spiritual scale. I had a friend tell me once that I was just incredibly passionate and it scares people. And I think that's true, because whenever I like speak or I like come to people with ideas, I'm really passionate about, you know, what I say and what I do. Because when I have an idea, I'm like, I have an idea. Okay. And so like there's been a couple times where I've actually like I've been pulled into like an entire meeting about this, where one of my group leaders or something was just really overly intimidated by the way that I spoke to her when I was like pitching ideas for the group and stuff like that. And it's like, how do I rephrase myself in a way that gets my point across but doesn't like eliminate my passion entirely? I'm a very motivated person, and I mean, I'm biased, but if you ask me, I think I have a lot of really great ideas. And so when it comes to like areas of interest and areas of things that I've been doing for a while, especially when it comes to media, I have like a huge library of tools and resources and ideas to gather off of. And I feel like when I'm like specifically in my zone for any of these things, and even when I'm like talking about something that I really enjoy, it's like, I feel like people like genuinely, they get intimidated by it. And I'm trying, like, as we've been going into the new year, I know it's cheesy and everything like that, but I have been trying to like be more intentional about my goals this year. And one of those like intentional bits for me has been, hey, maybe we like be a little bit more media trained. How about we go out into the world with a little bit more intention? Because right now I'm just really vibing, and I'm just doing what I want. I'm kind of like saying what I want, and not in a bad way where I'm like flippantly going out and like, I don't know, saying things that will never give me a job in the future. But I'm also like, I'm at this point in my life where I definitely speak and I don't really care if I have to like accommodate for other people while I'm doing that, if that makes sense. It brings back this point, and I've been thinking a lot about this, is that it doesn't matter how good of a job you do, if people don't like you, you're never going to receive recognition for it. So I've like, and like my family's like this too, we just like power through and we do the work and we do a lot of like heavy lifting and stuff like that. And then, but at the same time, like in the sake of efficiency, we aren't really like stopping and like waiting for people, and we're not like being accommodating. And I think that's especially true for me. Like I'm like, if someone isn't on the page that I need them to be at, like, okay, sorry, bye, we're gone. And so it's a little hard for me to like sit there and understand. I'm like, why do I have to like kind of try and adjust myself in this moment when I'm doing so much and when I'm achieving so much? But the truth is that if nobody likes you, you're not going to get the recognition that you want out of your work. So you have to find some kind of like blend between the two. And then like, because it kind of sucks when you like are working really hard for something and then you get zero recognition from it and people don't take you seriously at all, and you start to like develop this image, and that can really, I don't know, lead to a bigger flop era. I'm trying not to like give too many specific examples from my life, because as I've become more of like a broader public figure in like, especially like in my personal life, where like a lot of people that I know personally also like keep an eye on my content, it's like sometimes I feel like I can't spill the tea anymore as much as I could in high school, because like things kind of have stakes now, if that makes sense. And so it's like, bleh, like I hate this. Like I hate having to like be media trained, if that makes sense. Like I want to be passionate, I want to go out there and I want to do things, and I don't want to have to like slow down when I do it. But it's also hard when you enter like, as a content creator, when you're going in and like you see that drop, like those normal fluctuations, when you see that drop, right? Because you really think, like, begin to freak out and blame everything on yourself. And like, I know when I was making content in the beginning, everything was like incredibly efficiency driven. Like everything had to be optimized and everything had to be thought of. And that's just, it's not true. You just have to make it, and it has to get out there. Like I make these, I sit down and I record on a whim all the time now. So there's that. But building an identity around capturing people's attention means that you are ultimately affected when people don't feel like giving you that attention, right? When people no longer necessarily feel like they need to give you the positive recognition that you were working for. Like, just because you make a video doesn't mean it's going to get views. Just because you post every single day doesn't mean you're going to get followers, right? Like, I've been posting consistently like a dozen times or more a month for over a year, and I'm still stuck at 1,200 Instagram followers, right? Or like I've made, I think this is my like 10th or 12th YouTube video now, and like I still haven't made it past my first 100 subscribers. And you get caught into like constantly tracking metrics as a value of worth, and you begin to like really base yourself on that. And it's like, if I'm being honest, yeah, I check my analytics every morning. I just do. I look at the graphs. I look at what's going up and what's going down. I look at my my monthly summaries. I do all of these things. I obsessively track, because all of these things I have tied to my self-worth, which, shocker, isn't healthy. It's hard to distance what I create and the reaction that I get out of it from my self-worth. It's hard because, like, at the end of the day, you just have to, like, do it again and again and again, and something ultimately isn't budging, something ultimately isn't moving, then you need to begin identifying that, right? And, you know, when I began making content, like, that thing was, I ultimately just wasn't making good content. I had to address that. I had to, like, sit down and be like, okay, yeah, nobody's liking this because it's garbage, right? And, like, tying that in with, like, what I'm going through now when I'm, like, doing work out in the real world as an adult now, like, with media, it's like, you know, if you aren't getting the recognition that you want, then you're going to have to change something on the personality side or the deliverable side so that you do get that, right? So that you do work harder to achieve what you're wanting. And maybe not even working harder, but just working differently. So it's been a battle. Because, like I said, I've just tied all of this to my self-worth. And it's hard not to think of everything as a flop era. Another really short video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe right now. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Blake is Talking. And I post almost every day on Instagram, so that's really cool. But yeah, I'm going to go back to college and hope that I don't die. I have a morning class tomorrow, so wish me luck.